Big plans for today. Well, not so big actually. We're going to chop a little wood here. Gotta make a little kindling. The wood pile's getting kind of small, but not a big deal. It's not that cold. We don't burn a lot of wood, but we're gonna have to cut up some wood to make some kindling. Second thing on the list is to go out to the field and figure out what is where. I've got a crop plan of what is planted in the flower field. Need to get out there and start looking at what's in each of the rows and what is going to come up come spring here. I need to walk the field and get a better sense for the irrigation and what's out in the field. Let me just kind of show you the field here and what I think is where. We have about 12 rows up in here, which then gets a separation in the back, and then there's one other 3 rows, and then another 5 rows beyond that. Over here we have a pollinator meadow. You can see the nice little pollinator pathway sign in here. This is a pollinator meadow, a lot of poppies in here, but mixed in here we also have things like elderberries and blackberry mixed with other things as well. I'll give you an example. Right here, this is an elderberry. Elderberries are, well, not all of them are tagged, but a lot of them are tagged. So I'm going to look up what the elderberries are. In these same elderberry rows appear to be blackberries, raspberries, and then by the looks of it and the markings, there looks like a mouse just went under there. It's sort of a trail here, a bunch of holes, and something just ran under that landscaping fabric there. So I'm gonna guess that's a mouse. Could be a gopher. So I'm gonna reserve judgment and not touch anything. The idea here was to create a lot of habitat, and I like that, but I think my strategy is gonna be more one of creating hedgerows for habitat. If you're not familiar with hedgerows, or a hedgerow strategy, what you do is you kind of take, you know, your rows here. These will be dedicated more to growing a crop, and then in between the areas or around the areas, you create more native habitat borders, and those borders would be good for wildlife, pollinators, snakes, and things of that nature. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stake out, not like a cop, but like a farmer. I'm going to go get some stakes, and I'm going to stake out these rows here. I'm thinking about doing that for a couple reasons. One, like I said, it'll help me remember what is where. The second reason is I'm going to try to get a little bit of a sales channel going and just kind of wholesaling things and telling florists or anybody, stop out at the farm, pick what you want, and just Venmo me some money. And if we do that, I need to have these rows marked so that they come out and they know what's where, and then they can just go and pick what they want. I noticed this hole here over by this pile of rocks, and this very cute sort of fake mine display here with a shovel on the top of it that the owners put in years ago. But I suspect it may be a groundhog hole, and I'm noticing that there are these trails out in the field from this rock display here, and it cuts across the field and goes out to this little mound. I noticed this high spot in the field. I'm wondering if, you know, there isn't like a groundhog over there in that rock pile running across the field, or maybe a prairie dog or something, and coming over and hanging out and sitting on this high spot here. Yeah, I see these trails that go across the field. Something I'm going to be watching out for and seeing what's coming out here, and seeing if there's a groundhog running around in my field. Because if there is, that's something I'm gonna have to deal with. Okay, so we've got the various rows marked that have perennials or self-seeding plants that are probably gonna come back up. Don't get me wrong, these aren't any sort of permanent markings. Eventually what we'll do is we'll make, probably some nice little clip-on signs that we can clip onto the stakes. And those will be more permanent markers, and then as we rotate crops and move them around the field, we'll just take those little signs and move them as well. So now that the rows are marked, I think what we're going to do here is figure out what's going to come up first, and then take some of these hoops that are on the annual beds, the areas that probably nothing will come up, and we'll put these hoops over onto things like the daffodil beds so that we can start to cover them with some row cover, keep the deer out, give them a little protection from the elements and warm them up a little bit. So that's it. I don't think that'll get done today. That's probably the next project. Okay, well that is it for now. I'm just going to give you a little view of the entire property. So this is the dry pond. It holds water in the summer when the irrigation is on, but it drains in the winter because it's not lined. I think we'll line it so that we can have water all year and start irrigating earlier in the season. There's the barn over there. It's a beautiful day with lots of visibility. You can see the mountains in the distance. Beautiful day out here on the property. And there you have it.